So as you guys are thinking about your questions, I'll tell you one question that we get really often. It has to do with Act 60, and the question is Act 60 available for the local population, for the Puerto Rican people? And so we try to answer this often on this channel. We try to get this information out there that yes, indeed, Act 60 is for the local population. And I will go through the parts of Act 60 as best I can. I'm not an expert, so I'm not a member of Act 60. At least I don't use Act 60 in most of these, except for one portion, and I'll talk about that as well. But Act 60 is available to people who are in the mainland, and it's available to people who are on the island. And the portions of Act 60 that I'm aware of that are available to the local population, to Puerto Ricans, is the Young Entrepreneurs Act, which is a brilliant way to start a business. So if you are a young person, young entrepreneurs, 35 years young or younger, you qualify. Now, there are some carve-outs. It has to be certain kinds of businesses, or at least there will be some kind of businesses that don't qualify. So you'll have to get with your counsel and figure out if the business that you're trying to start will qualify for the Young Entrepreneurs Act. But that is available to anybody who's on the island, whether you're stateside people who have moved here, or if you've grown up here and you've been here your whole life and you're looking to start a business. So you are younger than 35, and by definition, you're a young entrepreneur if you're younger than 35. Unfortunately for me, I just missed it. That allows for, guys, and this is amazing, for someone to start a new business today and over the next 3 years make $500,000 without paying any tax. So if you start a business and you do really well and you make $500,000 in that first year, you pay no tax. And then the next year you'll start to pay the tax. So, but still, that's so powerful. I mean, taxes as entrepreneurs, let me tell you, taxes are going to be your biggest expense throughout the rest of your career. So if you have multiple businesses like I do, and you own multiple properties like many real estate investors do, you're going to pay a lot in taxes. But if you're buying and selling real estate, or if you're renting cars, or you start any business that you want, you've got some business manufacturing something, and you can make the first $500,000 to jumpstart your business without paying any tax at all. That is something that is truly special to this island, and it gives a leg up and a great way to start for anybody who is young. So young entrepreneurs, available to local population, available to the Puerto Rican population. Another part of Act 60 that is available to the local Puerto Rican population, whether you've lived here your whole life, whether you moved away for some time and you're moving back to the island, it doesn't matter. It applies for you. Export services. It's formerly Act 20. It's now called export services. Export services means exactly what it says. You have a business that does things outside of Puerto Rico. Either you manufacture goods here and you send them out, so you're exporting, or you could have a management business back in the States that you're running from here, so you're exporting your management business to the States. Unfortunately, what I think happens in Puerto Rico is the government just does a really piss poor job of letting the total population know what Act 60 is for and who it's available to and who can use it. So we're trying to get that information out here right now. I've just gone through 2 ways that you can use Act 60, whether you're local population or not. The third one that I'm really aware of is that you can use the tourism section of Act 60. So we invest heavily in tourism, and we use Act 60 tourism to get 40% tax credits back on our development of hotels or any other business that is around hospitality. And so that can be what we physically, we invest in value add properties where we're taking something that has been sitting vacant for years and years and turning it into a guest house or a bed and breakfast or a hotel. You could also do transportation companies through tourism, I believe. You could do rental cars through tourism, I believe. You can certainly take people on tours around the island. I think all of these are tourism businesses. I have a friend who has a beautiful 40-foot sailing yacht, and they take people out on tours, and that's a tourism business, and there are tax credits for that. So again, these are businesses that anybody can do and that they are available to start and can be invested in and run and owned and operated by local Puerto Rican population. So if you think that Act 60 is not for you because you grew up in Puerto Rico and you've heard that it's not, it's just not true. It's bad information. It's a really poor job, again, that the government does about letting people know who is available, who this stuff is allowed to be a part of this. And most of it is for the local population.